Jet-setting around involves completely entrusting your comfort and safety to strangers. But that trust may be eroding after recent examples of airline crews behaving badly. Another pilot arrested this past weekend, failing 2 breathalyzers. So we ask, what would you do if you spotted a pilot drinking before a flight?
Long gone are the romantic days of air travel. Glamorous flight attendants, handsome, heroic pilots, as depicted in shows like Pan Am and movies like Catch Me If You Can.
Are you a real-life pilot?
I sure am, little lady.
Today, air travel can sometimes be a passenger's worst nightmare. Imagine sitting in your seat moments before takeoff when you see this. Your pilot led away by police in handcuffs, suspected of being intoxicated in the cockpit.
I was getting a little nervous, and I guess there was a good reason why now.
The Wayne County prosecutor says the pilot, Francis Maguire, failed 2 breathalyzer tests on Saturday.
I believe I was speechless that something like that could happen, and again, that he could get that close to the aircraft.
He was questioned and investigated before being charged with a misdemeanor. When reached by ABC, a family member declined to comment on the charges. Among the flyers, this group of spring breakers, contemplating consequences far worse than delayed beach time.
You're drunk and you don't really consider the consequences of that, of our lives, which sucks.
Under the FAA's bottle to throttle rule, a pilot must wait 8 hours after drinking before operating an aircraft. The legal limit for airplane pilots is .04, half of that for drivers, but still enough to impair judgment. Pilots are subject to random testing.
You certainly know as a commercial airline pilot that if you show up with anything in your blood, whether it's drugs or alcohol, your chances of being caught are extremely high.
But plenty of pilots are still charged with breaking the rules. Earlier this year, a former Alaska Airlines captain was arrested on charges of flying 2 passenger aircrafts while under the influence of alcohol back in 2014. He pled not guilty and will face trial next month. It's far from a new problem. Back in 2002, 2 America West pilots seen here drinking in this surveillance video the night before their flight were arrested before the flight took off the next morning after TSA screeners smelled alcohol on their breath. They were found guilty by a jury.
Seatbelt securely fastened around you.
They're seen seemingly straight out of the hit Hollywood movie Flight, with Denzel Washington starring as an alcoholic pilot who pulls off a miraculous crash landing. His short-lived glory crushed after his blood alcohol level is revealed.
This toxicology report states that you were drunk.
Can we get 2 martinis, please?
But in the real world, would bystanders take action if they saw seemingly drunken behavior like this?
You are one crazy man. That's why I'm the captain.
ABC's What Would You Do with John Quinones put it to the test.
When we gotta be at work? 2:30.
While this woman looks like she can't believe what she's seeing, her friend seems to think it's funny. And still others try their best to ignore them. These are just actors posing as airline pilots. Their drinks, just water. But these bystanders don't know that. As hidden cameras are rolling, they carry a fake business card and make it clear that they're about to fly a commercial jet.
We only got another 5 minutes before we're gonna go fly.
Many do very little to stop them.
But you didn't say anything.
I didn't know what to say.
I wasn't sure if they were actually going to the airport to fly a plane.
But when they switch out the fun-loving duo for a more downtrodden actor, this time drinking alone, some, like this man, take a stand.
What's your boss's number? Let me call him.
And when the pilot gives the man his card...
Believe me, I've worked there long enough, I'm not going to believe you. You know why? Just so I can say I did the right thing.
Determined, he makes the call.
Vamos.
Vamos.
But it isn't just alcohol that's getting aviators into trouble. 2 Argentinian pilots were fired after allegedly inviting a model into the cockpit with them, giving her access to the accelerator during takeoff, and even snapping selfies together with their back to the control panel. Of course, one of the strangest headlines, an American Airlines pilot allegedly moonlighting as a pimp in Houston.
Hardly the case of the century that the state makes it out to be.
As for Maguire, that American Airlines pilot, he could have his license revoked, be forced to pay thousands in fines, and face jail time.
Airline pilots have to be able to respond instantaneously when things go wrong, and that's when you cannot have any impairment whatsoever. That's why this is intolerable.
The airline saying in a statement, "This is a serious matter and we're assisting local law enforcement. The safety and care of our customers and employees is our highest priority." But the passengers, those business travelers and erstwhile vacationers who depend on dependable flight crews, they're just happy a lengthy delay was the worst thing to happen.